Next up, we have the Renault FT17. This is a tank. Now we move on to the tanks, which is probably what most of you guys have been excited for, myself included. So this is a very influential tank right here. Historically speaking, this was the first tank to introduce this. Oh, sorry, not the camera over. This is the very first tank to introduce this classic tank layout that we're also accustomed to these days. That means, a turret, a main turret with a main gun, a driver on the hull of the tank on the front usually, and a engine on the back, tracks on the exterior. Well, exterior, visible tracks on the exterior, whatever. You get what I mean. It's just a very classic tank. And equally classic Brickmania kit. I mean, this is a very popular Brickmania kit. It's just one of the many iterations I have of this thing. And I love this to bits. Really, really cool tank. This was also used a lot in World War II by the French, funnily enough. So, this also works as a World War II vehicle. Although mine is outfitted to look like a World War I vehicle. With the insignias and just the camo design and whatnot. But it's very basic. The turret spins, the gun moves up and down, the tracks turn, there's one opening, oh god, there's one opening compartment, which is these on the back. These can open up, which is how the drivers will get in and out. Of course, this does not open you can't fit anybody inside because the tank's pretty small, but it's a very, very cool tank, a very important tank as well. So, yeah, Renault FT17, one of my favorite tanks in my collection. Next up, we have the Italian Carro Armato M13/40. This is a Italian tank from World War II, and it's just this was basically the primary tank of the Italian army during World War II. This is the most extensively used and produced version tank the Italians had in the Second World War, and this is a Brickmania kit, of course. Very, very cool model. I mean, this tank would basically be an equivalent to what, the M5 Stuart, essentially. But it's a pretty cool vehicle. What I love about this Brickmania kit, it's actually a lot more than meets the eye, because this has a lot more going on with it than you'd expect. And I want to do a review of this eventually. I don't know, I really haven't gotten around to doing so. But, yeah, very cool. The turret spins all the way around, the gun moves up and down, all that cool stuff. And, lots of cool opening compartments on this thing, like on the side right here and whatnot. So, very, very cool tank. Yeah, just it's got that really, really cool tan color scheme for North Africa, which is really where the Italians primarily fought in World War II. You can also build this in gray if you want to have a version used in, I don't know, in mainland Italy, where this would have also been used, I suppose, and maybe not mainland Italy, but like Sicily and whatnot. Hell, if you wanted to have a Soviet Union version, which is when the Italians invaded the Soviet Union along with the Germans, you could, So, yeah, very, very cool kit by Brickmania. Next up, we have the M5 Stuart. This is an American light tank. I've done a review of this. This is by CustomBricks.com. .de, sorry. This is a fantastic kit. I just love this thing. It's extremely it's got a lot of functionality to it. So I have a lot of a lot of just accoutrements on this thing. A lot of moving bits and opening compartments and whatnot. It's just a very, very cool kit and a very versatile tank to own. I mean, this is used quite extensively by the Americans in World War II. So yeah, got a full review of this thing with the turret, the spin, and gun moves up and down. I have replaced recently the brick-built machine guns with Brick Arms machine guns, which look better in my opinion. So yeah, M5 Stuart. Next up, we have the Panzer III. So this is the very first tank I owned, and the very first tank I got. I built it using the Barbarossa instruction book. Fantastic kit by Brickmania. Mine is a little bit outdated, I suppose you could say, because Brickmania has redesigned this kit a while ago with a more realistic width for the tracks, so double wide track instead of single wide. But honestly, I love this thing either way. I mean, I have a lot of cool sentiment of this because it was the first tank I got. It's just a nice tank. A lot of cool bits. I love these rotating tracks on this thing, fully traversing turret with a elevating gun. Lots of opening compartments on the turret too. Very, very cool tank in general. Just not really much else to say. Just a very nifty tank, really. So, Panzer III, which is a early to mid-war World War II German tank. one of the primary German tanks of World War II. So yeah, pretty cool. Next up we have the T-34/76. Yeah, very cool tank. And yeah, just this is the very first Allied tank I got and the very first review I made. Well, there was another one before that, but that was we shall not talk about that video because it was experimental and not very good. So yeah, it's a cool tank. It's got opening hatches on it, and you know, rotating turrets, up and moving up and down. Yeah, elevating and depressing guns, and just all kinds of opening hatches. I do have a Soviet flag on it, just for the heck of it, because I had these flags lying around, and I was like, oh, might as well use them for something. So yeah, very cool tank. Just very nifty early World War II tank that was pretty important for the Soviet Union. These were very powerful tanks at the time. The Germans developed Tigers and whatnot, and Panthers, and upgraded versions of their existing tanks to combat tanks like these that were coming out, not just by the Soviets, but by the Allies in general, but primarily by the Soviets. So yeah, very cool. And here's a Japanese tank that I have. This is a Type 97 Shinhodo Chiha. This is a Japanese World War II tank, a medium tank, and it's pretty much the standard tank of the Japanese Army in World War II, very extensively used by them. Just a regular looking tank. Pretty cool kit by Brickmania. Very classic kit in my opinion. I love the camo design on it. Had this for years now. The tracks do go around on this thing very nicely. Just nice spinning turret. One opening hatch, which is the top one. Gun moves up and down. It's just as basic as you can get with a kit, a tank kit. But it's you know, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot, and you know, just a very nifty looking World War II tank. I love the camo especially. So yeah. Type 97 Shinhodo Chiha. Here's the M4 Sherman. This is the standard American tank of World War II, really. Medium tank. Yeah, I had to move the camera a little bit back because these tanks are getting bigger. So, yeah, very cool. One of my favorite tanks of World War II, really. It's just extremely important tank for the Allies. Extremely versatile and useful. Yeah, so very cool Brickmania kit. This one I got recently actually, and very nice. So, turret moves up and turret turns all the way around. The gun can elevate quite a lot. Just a very nifty tank from Brickmania. So M4 Sherman, the most produced American tank. I think of all time actually, the most produced American tank of all time. One of the most produced tanks of all time. They made like 50,000 of these in real life, which is absurd. So yeah, pretty cool. So, there you go, M4 Sherman. And here is another World War I tank. This is my only British tank so far. This is a British Mark A Whippet. So this is a late World War I tank. Around 1918 this came around. They made about 200 of these. These are medium tanks. Very cool kit by Brickmania. Just one of I really like. Got this for Christmas a while back, and just a very nice looking kit. I love this thing. Very unorthodox looking tank for sure, but then again it was World War I. I mean, a lot of things were unorthodox for our modern eyes, of course. But very cool. This thing essentially is just a pillbox machine gun with tracks. It really is. I mean, it just has machine guns on all four sides, covering pretty much all angles, so it can deal with any infantry. And I think these are designed to protect bigger British tanks, as well as that protect the infantry. So, yeah, very cool. I love these things, and I want to do a review of this as well. There's just so many reviews I have planned, and I can't get around to filming any of them because, well, truth be told, really, I forget, because I have a horrible memory. So, yeah, but I really do want to get reviewing more. But, anyways, there is the Mark A Whippet. Here is the Su-76, which is my only Kobe kit so far. Oh, Kobe tank, that is. And I like this thing, but this might be the only piece of my collection that I'm kind of hesitant about owning, because the thing is, well, let's just get a size comparison of this thing. Here it is next to the T-34. Yeah, it's really big. It's supposed to be the same size as a T-34, but it's a lot bigger. This is like the size of an IS-2, you know, which is not very accurate, and that's really my biggest problem with this. Is the size is ridiculous. I mean, this is the same size as the Brickmania Panther, even not a little bit bigger. So yeah, it's supposed to be. This is a Soviet self-propelled gun from World War II, and I do like this thing, but I do plan on replacing it. I might sell this at some stage. I mean, I have all the parts for it, and it's not incomplete. I have the figures. I might sell it. But I just want to get an SU-76. Brickmania has one, but I'm not sure if I want to get that one because I don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on something I already technically own. So, yeah, it's still a great kit. Don't get me wrong. I do love this thing in its own way. It's just too big. I might end up making my own custom, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not even sure if I'll sell this. I might keep it around. It might be useful for stop motions. You know, have this on the background or something like that. But it's a cool kit. And I probably won't sell this, but I could probably modify this, make a custom vehicle or something out of it. So we'll see, but yeah, Soviet SU-76, pretty cool though. It's by Kobe. Despite its size discrepancy, it's a pretty cool vehicle. Here is my favorite tank of my collection. This is the Panther Osif G, I think. Something like that, which is the late war version of the Panther. Brilliant Brickmania kit. I've done a full review of this thing, and it's just an amazing, amazing kit. Built this with the Battle of the Bulge instruction manual. I mean, look at this thing. It's just such a menacing big tank, and it's just got so much functionality to it. The color scheme too really helps. To me, it really helps the look of it. It's just brilliant looking tank. Really, I love this. Also helps that the Panther is one of my favorite World War II tanks, but big old thing, which I love. So, there you go. The Panther World War II German tank. And here is the biggest tank in my collection, so big it can't even fit in frame right. This is the A7V. This is the very first tank Germany built in World War I. The very first tank Germany built in general. And used by them, of course. They probably had prototypes before this, but this is the only one that saw service. So World War I German tank, late World War I tank. It's by Brickmania, and it's a huge thing. I mean, this thing is a bunker, basically. Nicknamed the Moving Fortress by the British, and rightfully so. This is an amazing kit, but I do have some complaints about it, and I will definitely review this. Despite that, it's still a fantastic kit. It's just, some things about it are, well, I think could be a little bit better. It's very fragile, though. That's my only complaint about it. But it's a great kit nonetheless, and I will be doing a full review of this eventually, so stay tuned for that. But, yeah, the A7V Sturmpanzerwagen, World War I German tank. And here is the really only custom item, and I have. It's not really a full custom. So this is supposed to be a World War I German plane, the Fokker Eindecker, which is a World War I German plane. It was, yeah, it was used by the Germans quite extensively through the mid to late war, I suppose. Very cool plane. This is a Lego plane, an actual official Lego plane that I've modified extensively to look like a Fokker Eindecker. Now, a while back, Lego released a Wonder Woman themed set for the movie, and in that set there was the airplane. There was a World War I looking airplane in there, and I was like, this looks like an Eindecker. I could modify this. Problem was, it looked as pretty much. It looked as. I mean, the plane looked like any mono-winged plane from World War I. It just looked very generic, if you ask me. But still, I wanted to modify it, and this is my attempt. And I mean, I guess it is what it is. I definitely will be coming back to this and doing some touch-ups. I'll be making the wings bigger, wider, tile up the wings, tile up the tail, because it is not very accurate to the Eindecker, unfortunately. Nonetheless, this is what I made. But yeah, the only custom item, and it's kind of bad. So yeah, but there you go. There's the Fokker Eindecker, which is a German World War I airplane. So there you go. There's that. Here we have a proper airplane. This is another World War I plane. This is a German Fokker DR-7. So this is a late World War I German plane. One of the best planes Germany built, if not the best plane they built in World War I. Well, that's a very broad statement, but it was up there. This is a fantastic plane by Brickmania too. I got this. This is the very first plane I got, and it's just a brilliant thing. I mean, I love the details on it, the decals. the look of it is brilliant. I mean, it's one of my favorite planes of the war. Just so many cool details on it that I think really help make the plane shine, really, and it looks amazing. So yeah, I love the color scheme too, this red paint job, almost resembling the Red Baron, but he did not use these planes. I think, yeah, he had the DR1, which you're also familiar with. But yeah, fantastic plane by Brickmania, the Fokker DR7. And here is the first World War II plane I got. This is a Soviet MiG-3, so this is an early World War II plane used by the Soviet Union. It wasn't actually a very good plane in the real war itself. It was kind of underperforming plane, just like a lot of the early World War II Soviet planes were. There wasn't too many good ones, I suppose. But nonetheless, this was a plane, and it was used by the Soviet Union. And this is an amazing kit by Brickmania. Very cool. It's a lot of very fine detailing on this thing, and it looks very cool in general. So yeah, the MiG-3. Here is the Messerschmitt ME-109, sorry, BF-109, sorry. So Messerschmitt BF-109 by Brickmania, classic kit. This is the older version because they just very recently made a new version, which, to be perfectly honest with you, I like this version better. I don't know why. I guess it just looks simpler and cooler, in my opinion. I don't know why. I know it's blockier, not very realistic compared to the Brickmania one, but the Brickmania one uses like stickered decals, which to me, stickered camouflage, which to me looks, it doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of Lego, in my opinion. I don't know. I like this one better, in my opinion. I genuinely do. But it's a classic German World War II plane, very well known, and it's got that very distinct. It's in that very. I know I used the word classic 3 times at this point, but classic color scheme, which is the gray and yellow, which a lot of planes used by Germany in World War II had this color scheme in the earlier periods of the war, because it was a way to signal the anti-aircraft crews, I'm a friendly, don't shoot me. Good old way to also signal Allied planes, who's a friendly and who isn't, but whatever. So, fantastic looking plane by Brickmania. Very cool kit. So, there you go. And here we have another World War I plane by Kobe. Get ready to see a ton of Kobe kits now, because the plane-wise, I try to reserve to Kobe more because they're cheap, and in some cases, I'd say they look cooler than Brickmania's planes. So, yeah. But this is a Avro 504. This is a British double-seater from World War I. The most produced plane of the war, actually. Great kit. Very cool. Just gotta give you a full view of it. It's very big. It almost doesn't fit in frame. Yeah, it doesn't fit in frame, actually, the entire thing. So, yeah, but it's a cool plane from World War I used by the British forces by just a ton of by a ton of different Entente powers, and it was a reconnaissance plane, also used as a bomber and a trainer aircraft. So very cool. So there is the Avro 504. And here we have American World War II plane by Kobe. This is the Bell P-39 Airacobra. Very cool plane. What I like about this plane is that it's like a mixture between a jet and a fighter. I mean, it has that very, distinct landing gear setup that a lot of jets would have from this time period. So, yeah, but it's a great plane by Kobe. Just really cool looking. And, yeah, very cool. Loaded with weaponry, too. I mean, 2 machine guns on the nose, 2 on the tips of the wings, and I presume even on the tip of the propeller. This little black dot here is supposed to be a machine gun, but I could be wrong. Very cool, though. I really like this plane, so, yeah. Here we have a Japanese airplane. This is the infamous Zero A6M Mitsubishi plane. So, yeah, very popular airplane from World War II, another classic from that war. This is by Kobe, again, and it's probably my favorite out of all the single-seat planes that I have. Out of all the fighters that I have, this is my favorite looking one. It just aesthetically looks great. The paint job, I mean, this is dead on the Zero. Like, no mistake about it. This is dead on the Zero. Which is not saying that the other kits were inaccurate looking, but, I mean, this thing just looks so seamless and so perfect. I mean, yeah. There's no gaps on it. There's nothing like that. I mean, this thing looks great. I have painted the cockpit, however, but yeah, looks amazing. So, yeah, the Kobe A6M-0 Japanese World War II plane. Here we have the Ju-87 Stuka. Now the planes are getting so big you can't even see them right. But this is a German World War II dive bomber by Kobe. The first Kobe kit I got and put together. Fantastic looking kit for sure. Just look at it. I mean, yeah, very, very cool. Great replacement for the Brickmania one. I wanted to get the Brickmania one, and that's actually how I got Kobe kits in the first place. I really wanted to get the Brickmania Stuka. But it was very hard to get at that time because they had... I mean, I know Brickmania literally this week came out with a new Stuka, but beforehand they had one which didn't have... before that one came out, they had another one which was a lot more expensive and a lot harder to get a hold of. So I saw this and I was like, I'm going to try this out, and yeah. Just a very, very cool, another very well-known German plane from World War II. So there it is, the Ju-87 Stuka. And here we have a Polish plane. This is a PZL P11 Karasz. No, sorry, PZL P23. Jesus Christ, Karasz, which is a Polish three-man crew light bomber, which is pretty cool. So here it is. And yeah, I've done a full review of this thing. It's a brilliant plane by Kobe. Very, very accurate looking plane from a kind of an obscure World War II plane. And just yeah, it is what it is. You know, what you see is really what you get. It is really, really cool. I said it is what it is as if this is a bad thing. No, it's not. I don't know why you said that. I'm just getting tired from speaking so much. So, yeah, but it still is a fantastic plane nonetheless. The next three kits are actually so big I have to show them on the floor right now. But this is a B-25, which is the regular, one American World War II bomber. The very first kind of big scale plane I got. Very, very cool. I've made a full extensive review of this brilliant Kobe kit, and I love this thing for just this really, really rich history, and it's just a really, really cool plane in general. Very influential too for the Doolittle raid and whatnot, so yeah, B-25. And here we have my most recent addition to the collection. This is the Nakajima Ki-49. This is a Japanese bomber by Kobe as well. And it looks amazing. It's a huge plane, as you can see. And I want to review this one pretty badly too, so... yeah, it's just a huge plane. I love the camouflage scheme, and it's very, very cool. A lot of cool features of this thing, so... yeah, Ki-49. And the final plane I have, and the final thing I have to show you guys, this is the Heinkel HE-111. This is a German World War II bomber. Pretty awesome kit by Kobe. Love this thing. I have painted the cockpit, however, so just yeah. Mine's a little. So excuse the dust, by the way, in this model. Get down here to show you. Yeah, it's very dusty, but that's because I haven't really had cleaned it up recently. But it's a very, very awesome kit by Kobe. So there you go. And that wraps up all my World War II models and World War I models, and just yeah. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. Well, yeah, that was a very, very long video, and that just kind of goes to show how much of a ridiculously big collection I have. But, yeah, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. It's a really fun hobby. It's kind of funny how I bought one time that one Brickmania kit just to try it out, to see what it was all about. And now it became a full-fledged hobby, and just really, really fun stuff. I'm very, very happy with everything I got. Literally every piece to me is a very, very cool thing to own. And yeah, I'm excited to see what I can get in the future. Just really, really cool. So yeah, that's that really. I hope you guys like this video. If you stuck around till the end, I know it's a very long video. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was supposed to upload this week a review, but I didn't, because Resident Evil 2 came out, and that kind of sucked away my life. But hopefully this makes up for it. So yeah, now school's is gonna start for me in a little while, which is not very, which is gonna suck right now. But I'm still gonna try to upload. So it's gonna mess up my schedule a little bit, but I can try. So anyways, I do hope you guys liked this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.